Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, aka Donut Day. You're watching Streamseed's creator of the Donut Table. My name is Delicate Disaster. We're so happy to have you here. We have a few wonderful human beings with us today. We're up for a wonderful discussion with some amazing questions that were asked in our Discord. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to let these wonderful people start to introduce themselves, and we will get moving forward with questions.
Hi everyone, I'm Doughnut Damage. I'm a variety streamer, a family-friendly variety streamer from the UK. We stream all sorts of different games, but we've been sucked into Fortnite recently, really grinding to get that Darth Vader skin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hello, everybody. Blue Moo Gaming here. I'm a primarily Monster Hunter variety streamer based in the UK. It's all about fun, community, and being an idiot, really. That's me.
And then that'll come to me. So I'm Forecast, or the real Forecast as it is on Twitch. I stream mainly Sea of Thieves, do a bit of community nights with marbles and things like that. Bit more mature content, maybe. But yeah, I've been streaming daily for a year and a month, thereabouts even. So yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. So we're so excited to have you gentlemen with us. I'm going to pull up these questions real quick because we, of course, want to reach out to the community of content creators and ask them, like what kind of questions do you want to ask the creators that come to the Doughnut table? Because it could be really helpful, and that's part of what we're about is helping everyone to grow. And not everybody has the resources. So being able to network and talk to other content creators can be super useful in the growth process. So let's see, going back, one of the first questions that we have, which I think is a really good question, and I'm so excited to have other people to talk to because we all are going to have our own answer to this question, is how to respond to raids, or even if you should respond. The example that was given was had a quiet stream I was coming to the end of when I got a surprise 250 people show up. So how would you guys respond to a raid like that?
I mean, first of all, shock. I think 250 people came flooding in.
Yeah, that's loads.
And then, I think I'd probably just, break down and cry and then start dancing for them. I reckon that's probably where I'd go. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I have fortunately had that moment, and there was a lot of silence. There was a lot of shock. There was a lot of hands over face. Yeah, it does take you back. It's scary because it's just it's very weird.
First taste of stardom, I guess.
I know that I would probably cry. I'm absolutely honest. I am a person, I ugly cry on stream, both on camera and off camera. And I think honestly, I would just probably sit in my floor and cry because I wouldn't know what to say.
It just never feels like the thank yous are enough, when they come in and you start thanking everyone and you see everyone coming in and you go, oh, thank you so much. But it's like, it's genuine, but it never feels like enough for me. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I understand that completely. Like, I'm the type of person that I feel like no matter how many times I say thank you, or no matter what words I say, it's just not genuinely enough to show how much I appreciate the fact that someone thought of me or thought highly enough of me to want to share that with me.
Yeah. Totally get that.
Yeah, 100%.
I think if it ever happened, I'll let you know what happened. But I would like to think that what I would do is welcome them in, do the thank yous, and then give them an intro, really. So do my about me, but welcome them in, let them know what the stream's about, set that sort of ground rules, the expectations, so I don't disappoint going forwards.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to think would happen. I'd probably just go into some state of shock and just disappear for half an hour, but
Well, see, and for me, it seems like anytime that I get rated like that, or not, I've never been rated with 250 people. I think the max I've gotten is 40, which, I mean, whether it's 5, 10, 40, 100, it doesn't matter. I'm going to treat it the same because they have no idea how much I appreciate that gesture. But for me, it seems like every time I get rated, it's in the middle of a match or in an intense moment in a game. Nice. And I'm trying to focus on this and I'm laughing and crying, going, hi, my name is Delicate Disaster. But I actually have an intro that I have started doing. And it's something that I've noticed that a lot of bigger streamers do, and I see that that's a way to like really let the newcomers know who you are. So for me, it's something along the lines of like, hi, my name is Delicate Disaster. I'm a variety streamer. I play a lot of X, Y, and Z games, a lot of horror games. Anything that can scare the mess out of me is a good game. Here you'll find a lot of shenanigans, really bad dad jokes. And by the way, I do voices. And so if you can handle that, then you're in the right place. So that's kind of my intro, and it's one of those things. It took me 3 years to figure out that I needed an intro for Raiders.
I'm there. I'm ready.
Yes, because I mean, like, if you just kind of go, I've realized if you kind of just go along with normal conversation, it seems like those people are going to leave.
Yeah.
Because you're not really greeting them. Yes, you can say, hi, oh my gosh, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Raiders. But if you don't take time to like give them a moment of your time to say, hey, this is who I am. For those of you that don't know me, or those of you that may know me, welcome back. And those of you that don't know me, this is who I am. Because if you want people to join your community, I feel like that's an important part of sharing who you are.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's see, looking through the chat a little bit. I had a raid around 200 once. I cried on Cam, Pastel Ninja. I love and adore you. I could honestly see that too. I would defo cry. My PC would break, I think. I don't know how I'd react. Probably ugly tears for days. Got rated with 45 the night I made affiliate. That's amazing. That is always an amazing thing to watch. I love watching the ones that haven't made affiliate yet and then watching them get rated by somebody.
Yeah.
And then knowing by the end of tonight they're going to hit affiliate. Like, that's such a cool experience for everybody involved. Biggest fear would be not being able to keep up with chat. I could understand that completely. I still have that fear, and I've been in this game for 3 years. I don't know. What about you guys?
Well, keeping up with the chat, I mean, yeah, like if a raid comes in, I just sort of focus solely on the chat for a good solid minute, obviously depending on how many people are chatting, of course.
Yeah.
And make sure you, like you say, you give them the time and let them know that how much you do appreciate it. And almost introduce yourself. Although I do forget to introduce myself a lot, just sort of get carried away in the chat.
Yeah, I think the whole content would shift the focus, so you'd be less at that moment in time. It'd be less about the gameplay, less about continuing whatever you're doing, and it'd become more of a just chatting, having that interaction with them all, making them all feel welcome by, like you say, replying to the messages, and then from that point move forwards, get back into the gameplay, because you then would probably have naturally had a question of, so what's going on, what are you doing, so you can lead that back into the gameplay and then carry forward from there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think one of the things that does really matter is like depend on where you are in the game as well. Like, say for instance, you're playing like Apex or Fortnite, you're in like a clutch moment and it's really hard, and that's like, that I can't handle. I'm like, but at the same time, I kind of find it a little bit easier to deal with raids because you don't notice how many people have come in. So then you don't get that kind of shock of like, oh my God, I've got like 5 or 15 or 50 people come in, and you don't feel that pressure, and you can kind of almost be yourself a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's fair, yeah.
So the way I do things, like if I'm playing a game where I'm in a match and it's a very like, I need to focus, especially if I have a team that depends on me, like when I'm playing Paladins, for instance, or like Dead by Daylight, I will kind of give a hi, I'm Delicate Disaster. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Let me get through this match. And then when I have a moment, like, or we finish the match, or I have a moment to kind of hide away and say, okay, let me introduce myself properly. And then I transition back to that. But I make sure to like just keep engaging them and talking to them.
Yeah. Acknowledge that they come in, make them feel welcome as much as you can. Most of the people are going to understand you're in a clutch moment. So
yeah. So that's, I mean, That's pretty cool, like to see that we all would definitely be in shock.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
So I know
no
I'm not the
doubt.
only one.
100%.
And it's crazy because actually I'm a person with severe anxiety. So like
Mm.
when things like that happen, my ADHD brain goes into like anxiety, ADHD, panic, and it's like squirrel shiny, squirrel shiny, squirrel shiny, back and forth because it's like, oh God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You know, so like that's always a fun moment. Now this kind of works well because transitioning from that question to the next question is best way to get chatter engagement, because the thing is, I feel that these definitely tie into each other because I've noticed sometimes it is hard to get raiders, especially, to engage in chat, especially when they're new there. So, you know, like, what do you think is the best way to get chat engagement?
Oh, I find that kind of a tough one, actually, to be fair, because I know, because like me personally, I'm quite a lurker in stream, so I'm kind of in the background, or if I go through a raid, I'll give the old, or hey, you know, all that kind of stuff. But to get chat, that's a good question. It's a very good question.
Yeah, I mean, always if the raiders start chatting, you know, I always ask them about what the streamer was they were with, you know, what they were playing, and you know, did you help them out? Did you make it difficult for them? And then, you know, if they get chat, and then obviously you go from there. But it is difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah, I don't really have a sort of answer on that one. Just with it, because it's someone else's viewers, isn't it? Someone else's community. You're bringing them in, so obviously you've got to have that introduction. You've got to talk to them. You can ask the question, but again, creating that engagement is quite a difficult one, because if they don't want to talk, they're not going to talk, and they are going to just sort of dip out. So I don't know. It's just making sure you remain as engaging as possible and hope that they feel free to join in.
Yeah,
So you can do, isn't it?
Yeah, because I mean,
Absolutely.
like, if I ever get raided, like the people that I see come through, I'll try and like say hey to such and such and such and such, and you know how you all been. I had a good time, you know, all that kind of stuff, and like give that like almost a little bit of one-to-one to each people I can see, and then give it to like a wide spectrum, and then it kind of leaves it up to them if they want to try and get involved a little bit, or if they'd rather just sit back, or if you know they got life things on the go or whatever. But yeah, difficult question.
Yeah. So one thing for me is that I definitely acknowledge anybody who like by name, as long because I always pre-scan their name to make sure it's not something inappropriate.
Yeah, there's too many of that going around.
So I will acknowledge each individual message. I don't lump it into a, oh my gosh, you know, welcome in, you first time chatters, or anything like that. I will sit there and I will acknowledge each individual message.
Oh, 100%.
To let that person know I'm seeing you, not I see you guys, I see you. And I want to make them feel special. You know, you're in my chat now, and I want you to understand that I appreciate your presence. And one thing that I always say is like a no-go: don't call out your lurkers. You know, I think it's okay. In my opinion, I think it's okay to say, it's like to make an announcement at some point to say, hey, for all of you lurkers, I appreciate you, just to let them know, like, I see you and thank you for even, you know, putting the energy into pulling up my stream and staying here or lurking in my stream. To not put an expectation on them to talk, because that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to try to pressure a lurker into talking, because it often can make them feel uncomfortable and they will leave and not come back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think lurkers are like a main staple of a lot of people on Twitch. 100%. Like, and they're the best people as well, because I like to call them the silent judgmental type. And like I love the lurkers. I mean, I'm a lurker myself, so like, yeah, like at the end of each stream I'll turn around, I'll be like, you know, thank you to like everyone who's, you know, all the follows, all the everything like that, and until you lurkers, I know you're out there. Love you all, you know, like that kind of thing. Like you don't want to make them feel pressured into doing something that they don't want to do. Like you wouldn't do it to someone in real life, so you know you wouldn't do it to someone over the internet either.
Yeah. Now, I kind of want to circle back to something that came up in chat, kind of tying into all of this, because I feel like in a way it can be something that can, based on this comment, it could be something that drives away somebody from talking in chat after you've been raided. But also it kind of goes back to the how to respond to being raided. Mochi Monsters, and I really hope I said your name right, said, I get off put when people call out when I raid with a certain number of people. I will say that is actually because, like, when you do your alerts, depending on what program you use, it will automatically say has raided with this many people, because that's how it's programmed to alert that you've been raided. I have changed mine, and I think it says something along the lines of this person has raided with a bunch of new friends or something like that. I can't remember what I even put on mine, which is sad. But I did that because I care about those people that raid with smaller numbers.
Yeah.
And I want them to feel just as comfortable as someone who is raiding with a larger number, which is why whenever I say welcome in, thank you for that raid, I don't point out the number of how many people they brought in with them. Because again, it doesn't matter to me if they are a party of 1, a party of 5, a party of 10, a party of 50 or more. It does not matter. The fact that you thought about me and thought highly enough of me to bring your community to me is what matters. You're sharing my stream and my community with your own because you thought I was worthy of that. So that's one of the things I don't like, is whenever streamers say the size of the raid. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, and that sounds perfect, really, because like you say, you're including everybody there, and that's why when you hear those tales of larger streamers who don't acknowledge it even, or just like, oh wow, a raid of 5, thanks very much. You think, what are you doing? This is people who've taken the time to come see you. How ungrateful do you seem? I mean, that's like, how can you harm yourself like that?
And the thing is, like, I could understand that. I actually raided with a party of like 20 something people one time, and the person actually had less people than me in their, like, less viewers than me before I got there. And the attitude that I got was, oh, thanks for the raid.
Wow.
And I was completely shocked.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't understand. But like, why? You should be, like, I thought about you and thought you were worthy to share my community with, like, and my community, they left and they messaged me and were like, what?
Yeah. I'm completely with you on that. I feel like if I've ever received a raid, it doesn't matter if it's one person, unless it's my mod. He likes to prank me with that. But if it's like one person, 2 people, whatever, it's a raid. Doesn't matter how many. I give the same reaction. It's thank you for the raid. You're a beautiful human being. Yada yada yada. But I've had exactly the same as you as well, Daddy. Like where I've had, like, I think, it's let's share the love. Like I've had bigger raids when I've been, when I first started and stuff, and it's like someone's thought about me and I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much. You're an idol to me right now. But then there are then people who just turn around and be like, oh, thanks. And it's a bit like, okay, right. You do just want to like step back. It's like you've interrupted them instead of like trying to share that bit of love with everyone.
And the thing is, I feel like in situations like that, those are the streamers or content creators that have forgotten what it is to be humble. They've forgotten what it is to be appreciative. And all they think about at that point is their popularity. I feel like that's where the mindset is for those type of people. And I mean, to each their own. I'm not going to sit back and judge, but I'm not going to allow for other people to feel like that when they come to my streams. Mochi, don't let that discourage you. You've just got to find the right vibes. You know, make sure you realize who you're rating out to. Don't be discouraged from it, because that's part of networking. It's part of growing. And the thing is, there are so many people out there that they will appreciate, even if you're only rating with one person. You know, and where I changed my alert to where it doesn't say the number that pops up on the screen. Granted, I can't change what it shows up in the chat bar, but I can change what the alert says on my screen for my alerts that pop up. And for me, I feel like that's a great practice, so that the smaller streamers, the undiscovered streamers, do not feel uncomfortable or feel ridiculous for rating a streamer that has more viewers when they don't have nearly as many. You know, just keep doing it. Find the right vibes, find the people that you would be proud to share your community with because you think they're awesome. But if someone, you know, makes you feel uncomfortable or has an off-putting tone about the raid, or, you know, they make you feel uncomfortable because of the number, because they decide to call the number out, then, you know, that's fine. If it's somebody you know, maybe talk to them and tell them, like, hey, later, you know, of course, not during their chat or their stream, but, like, you know, tell them, you know, hey, this made me feel a little uncomfortable. Is there a reason why you did that? Because then, you know, you might be helping spread light onto something that they didn't realize was an issue for people as well. You know, that's part of what I feel like we should be doing for each other, is like helping each other grow as content creators. And by, you know, sitting down and talking with other streamers and like we're doing here, it can really help spread light on a lot of different things that people didn't think about.
Definitely. Without that constructive criticism, you're never going to grow. You're never going to, you know, progress yourself that extra level.
Exactly.
You don't realize you're doing something, you need to be pointed out, and don't ever take it as a negative unless obviously someone comes there and gives you abuse. You know, it's fantastic. That's what's going to help you grow.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and then circling back, of course, to the chatter engagement, do any of you have things set up in your stream to help engage the chatters or the viewers?
So you mean like custom commands, that sort of thing?
So like some that I've seen are like I've seen some people put these little fancy things, and while I've been at this for 3 years, I'm still finding things in people's streams going, huh, how do you do that? That's so cool. But like I've seen something where it was actually a Dragon Ball Z, for instance, thing down at the bottom of their stream, and you can type a certain command and then you get a little avatar up there as one of the characters, and then like you can battle the other characters. Or I've seen it the same way but with like basketball and stuff like that, so your little avatar shoots the ball and you can like play against the other people that type in the commands. It's so cool, but it really brings engagement to not only the stream but the chat, because then other people see it and they go, oh, that's so cool, I want to do it.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I love that. I mean, I've seen like the little avatars wandering along the bottom of the stream in a few people's streams and that, but I've never seen like the fighting ones and the basketball ones. They're cool. I'm going to look that up.
It is actually really cool. But I've also seen like obviously we have like sound alerts and stuff like that, but I've seen blurps was one that I recently got turned to, because you can like it doesn't cost a lot of bits, and some of them I think are like 0 bits or whatever, but it allows like for a full library that people can literally look through and find whatever sounds they want to play. It's insanity.
Oh, okay. So that sounds cool. I like that.
But yeah, I mean, like I've noticed, I feel like in streams that have stuff like that it can help with the engagement a lot and gets people talking.
See, what I have in mind is I have very loving mods who like to encourage new people to abuse me, because that's the running joke of my stream. So whether it's continuously shouting that a game is rigged and they need to break the system, so they'll start that sort of a campaign, or they just want to generally abuse me. But no, it's all harmless. It's all fun. You know, it doesn't go too far. It don't go overboard. But it does get some new people to the stream talking because they just join in. They think it's fun. They have a laugh with it. They go with it, and yeah, I don't take any offense to it.
Bless the
So
mods day.
I love
yeah,
the
so
mods.
I think the
Wherever we
mods
be
are
there then.
they are a key tool. I honestly do think that having the right mods that will do that is also paramount to any stream as well. It's not just the streamer and the content; it's everything in between as well.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Match your channel and, like you say, bigs you up, doesn't it? You know.
But no, I think the only thing that I've got that's sort of like the sound alerts and stuff like that is I've got like obviously everyone's got the channel points, but I have like ones where, for instance, I've got one called Smashing, so it just pops up with like Nigel Thornberry's face and it just shouts smashing at me and like little bits and pieces like that. So every now and then I've got a few clips of people doing it at the perfect time and it'll be like, it'll go just over the character screen and yeah, that's good fun. I quite enjoy that.
That's great. I love it. Oh, I love Nigel Thornberry, so
Best cartoon ever. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was.
Nigel, love him so much.
my kid literally gave me awkward looks earlier because as I was walking through the kitchen, I just started randomly making Donnie noises. And they just
Yes.
looked at me like, what? And I'm like, the wild thornberries. Smashing.
And it's like turn around, I'll speak to people, and they'll turn around like, "What's a wild thornberries?" And I feel like I've just died a little on the inside. I'm like,
Disgusted.
how do you not know?
But see, this is pretty exciting for me because as a person who grew up in the US, and that was like a staple for cartoons, from my childhood. And then, hearing people from across the pond tell me like, hey, wild thornberries, I'm like, yes. It's great.
All
All right.
Tim Curry, legend. Sorry, I just have to say that. He's an absolute legend.
Absolutely.
We were treated to kids shows when we were younger. I'm telling you, like nowadays, what's going on?
I never stopped. I never stopped.
Fair enough.
That's just, I love it. Okay, so there was another question and I feel like I lost it.
Embrace the Nigel, you'll find it.
Was there only 2 questions?
Maybe. I mean, talking about the responding to raids though, like, so when you get a raid, do you try and go back and raid them, or do you at least go and check them out, or what do you do?
Absolutely. I tend to forget a lot. I'm a very forgetful person. Welcome to ADHD and the female brain. And there's one person, they've literally rated me countless times, and one day I was like, oh my god, I'm such a terrible person, I forgot to follow them. And I was actually able to bring that love back to that person, and I thought that was such an awesome moment to be able to share that love back to them because they're a great person, and I do try to give the love back because I don't want to come off as a person who just sits here and lets other people raid me, but I'm not willing to help them grow, because that's always, and I have so many people that I follow because they're such amazing people. And I'm constantly like, oh my gosh, who am I going to raid tonight? There's so many amazing content creators. So I try to make it balanced where I cycle through everybody because I don't want to raid the same people over and over.
Yeah, sure.
I want everybody to feel loved by myself and my community.
Agree with that. I think for myself, I tend to find that the people who are raiding me are the people who stream earlier than me, so it's quite hard for me to repay by, because I'm an evening streamer, whereas anyone who's sort of come in, generally I notice that they're Dave streamers, so I'll try to support in whatever way I can, whether it's lurking all day in their streams while I'm hard at work, clearly, or just promote them to my own followers, making sure that at least if I'm not able to support, someone else can. So there is a few where it's never going to probably be possible for me to raid them back, but at least lurking, supporting their stream as and when I can is something that I'll do in repayment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's the thing is, like, that's part of how networking goes as well. But at the same time, we want to be able to show our appreciation. And I know sometimes it, like, timing, depending on who streams when, it is impossible to raid certain people. And I feel terrible when I can't, because somebody else streams outside of my times for me to be able to do that. But still, I guess in a way what I do to try to counter that is, if I know that there is someone who I can never catch because they stream earlier than me, what I do is, even if they don't raid me and they're, like, say, lurking in my chat or whatever, I'll be like, oh my God, you guys, this person is freaking amazing. You need to go check them out. And I will shout them out right there. It doesn't matter if they rated me or not. I'm still going to show them that love.
Yeah, nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like that. That's good. That's good times.
Trying to, I mean, it's difficult. It really is difficult, but we do what we can to support each other, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like streaming is you got one or two ways. It's either a dog eat dog, or there are then bands of people who just kind of look after each other. I mean, as Thor was saying earlier, there's a guy who I always lurk on because he always streams before me and he always gets off before me. But at least I can, I'll sometimes have his stream on the back, right in the background. I'll be kind of half distracted because I'm watching kind of what he's doing, because he's a really good streamer, and I wish like I could give him some love back from all the raids that he's given me, and it's the least that I can kind of do. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of love, but there's a lot of dog eat dog as well out there.
Yeah. And I mean, that's sad, because here's the thing. There's two ways you can go about this. You can help lift each other up and grow with one another, or you can tear each other down. And that's going to literally get you nowhere. It's going to make you look greedy. And that's not what we want as content creators. That's not how we want to be known, because as content creators, as streamers, yes, all of our goals is to grow. But what would you rather be known for?
Exactly. Not enough people know this, or don't seem to know this, that it really does hurt you to, belittle someone or bring them down or talk badly about them, especially if they know nothing about you or another streamer. So yeah, it is all about, we're all in this together. We literally are working towards the same goal. I'm not fighting you to get that partner goal. Yeah, I'm fighting Twitch to get that partner goal.
Yeah, exactly. So a question that was dropped in the chat was, speaking of networking, how do you guys know some of the creators you've become close with?
I would say about most of mine, a lot of mine I met in real life through events. Some through just random raids, and sort of like if they're playing, especially if I've raided, like, so I like to raid like a new person and be like, oh, they're playing the same game as us, let's go check them out, it's this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, oh, I've got to go to bed, but then I've stayed on for like an extra 2 hours just to play the game with them, and then a lot of people through friends. So each event I've gone to, they kind of like there was so me and one of my mods went up first, and then we met like 3 people in the queue, and then the next time it happened there was like 8 of us, because we all bought a couple of extra people, and we ended up making like this little weird conglomeration of weird people that we've kind of met but never met before. So no, like that's, for me, it's a lot of like in person through other people, playing lots of games with, I like to have like a lot of the people who I've had like quite a good connection with. So yeah, essentially, or just randomly bump into online and just like their vibe.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think the majority of people I've met and had a real connection with have come into the stream through one way or another, and then obviously you know go back and check them out and have a chat with them. Then you suddenly realize that you click, and then all of a sudden you realize that 6 months, 8 months down the line, you're still watching them, you're still really enjoying their content. You're like, oh my gosh, I've got a real friend, online. I didn't meet them in the shops or whatever, and so yeah, I've just been really lucky to we've just sort of I've fallen into their streams, they fall into mine, and yeah, you just know when you click with someone, like you say, you vibe with someone, it just feels good. So yeah, I've been really lucky.
Yeah, for me on this one, I'm quite a socially awkward, anxious type person. Not really one for big meetings, IRL, things like that. But I am pushing myself to be more active in that way, such as they've got Sea of Thieves Fest next month. I'm going to that. So it's a
Wait,
chance to meet other streamers. I've even signed up to the after party, which is not something I would have done a few months ago. But as part of my new push, my new outlook to get more involved, that is something that I do. But generally, the great streamers that I talk to at the moment, and it's really similar to what Mochi put in the chat, is I filter by the lower viewers because I find they're the one that I can get to know easier because obviously you don't get lost in the chat, and build up that way, and then yeah, just really support going that way. But obviously there are the partners and the larger streamers that I do lurk in, but I do find it easier talking to streamers with lower viewer numbers. So I'll find a game that I fancy watching that day, reverse the list, and just see who responds if I type in the chat, see who's doing something that I like in the game, and yeah, just go on from there. Just get chatting, and if they've got a Discord, I'll try hop in there as well.
yeah, I completely can understand that because again, I have anxiety, which you would never know based on how I am with streaming. Because I seem like a social butterfly, but I'm really not. I'm terrified to potentially meet any of these other content creators that I've become close with, and honestly, a lot of them I have met through raids. Being in a chat and ending up in a raid out to this person, or somehow we found each other on Twitter. Um, some of them I have found they were on my recommended page and I just hopped in and they became like somebody I felt it was like a complete happy vibe. Being in their stream is always a smile and it's always a feeling of warmth and comfort. But as far as meeting anybody in real life, the only person that is a content creator that I have met in real life, he and I were introduced by my mom because my mom, like when I was moving here, my mom was like, "Oh, hey, I know somebody that's close to your age and is into like acting and does streaming and stuff. So I think you guys would get along." And we did. We hit it off. Like he's one of my favorite people. But as far as meeting all these other people, I'm scared. But I want to at the same time. Like there's so many people that I want to meet. And I'm just like, how do I get myself to an event to meet these people? Because I've actually never been to any type of event for streaming or content creation. Never been to a TwitchCon, PAX, or any of those. Or DreamHack, for instance, that's coming up in my area later this year. I won't be there, unfortunately. So like I don't get to meet all these people just yet. However, I think you said, did you say Sea of Thieves Fest?
Yeah, that's the one.
So where is it? I need to be packed into somebody's suitcase because I want to go.
Yes, it's down in Hinkley, which is in Leicester, and it's a unofficial sort of organised fest, but a lot of the big CP streamers are going. So they're going to be on the panel. They've got the Longest Johns going, who are the shanty singers
That sounds amazing. I absolutely love Sea of Thieves. So like hearing that, I'm like, what? This is a thing? How do I get there? So another and you know what? Actually Mochi did something. You added me in the comments. That's actually a great way to get me to see the questions a lot easier, because mine pops up in a red box anytime someone mentions me. So if you guys have questions for me, definitely mention me on there so I can see it easier. That would be awesome. So Mochi kind of followed up with a question on something that we were saying about anxiety. Would you say streaming helps with anxiety? My husband has bad social anxiety and I'm trying to get him to try new things. Personally for myself, yes. 3 years ago, I was the type of person, I couldn't even go into a store for 5 minutes without having an anxiety attack. My anxiety was literally crippling for me. And I got talked into streaming because I game a lot. And I started, and for the longest time, I was that person that would not talk if I didn't have any viewers, because the anxiety kicked in of, why would I be talking to myself? That's so weird. I can't do it. For the longest time, I didn't want to be on camera because of that anxiety. And today I feel more confident in myself, not only as a person, but as a content creator, because of streaming. Because as you stream and you grow and you network, you start to build a community of your own, and you will attract amazing people that will remind you how awesome you are, and that will help build the confidence. And for me, that has calmed my anxiety so much. I don't know about other people that deal with this, but that's been a huge help for me.
Yeah, I think it can definitely be an amazing tool to help sort of combat those fears and anxieties. And maybe even step before streaming is get into communities and just have a chat with maybe 1 or 2 people. Drop into a Discord and chat, drop into a live stream and chat before you even go live, so you get to know people, and then hopefully they'll come by your stream, and then you've got someone to chat to, so it doesn't feel as awkward. Maybe chatting to yourself, which is obviously an important part of it to learn. But yeah, get into the communities and get to know people. Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on pretty much all of them points, to be fair. I mean, I used to have used to be very, very anxious, and like I was the same as you, Daddy. I was that person like right at the beginning of streams, just sat there, just playing a game, not even like looking at the other screen, just being terrified if anyone sort of says anything, and just in my own little world. And then as time goes on, I sort of learned to speak more, and then like I've always been terrified of like public speaking, but I've managed to do like some bits at work now, and I did a best man speech for what's names, I can't even remember his name now anyway. And it's helped me out massively, and it's helped me come out of my shell, and it's helped me almost discover myself more through just talking to people on here and on Discord, and Twitter, and everything like that. Like, I didn't think it would, but it's amazing how much it actually does.
Yeah, and again, I'll just add a little bit to that then, I guess. So for me, really, the social anxiety side of things, I think having that thought that it's your stream, you're in control. If people are there to talk, they're there to talk to you rather than you having to go out there and find people to talk to start with, definitely helped. And then once you get to know people, then you just naturally start putting yourself out there a bit. I didn't do that straight away. I wasn't sort of the networking type to start with, but I've slowly built it up as I've realized how great the community can be just from the people coming into my stream. And then that's when it just sort of leads on. So definitely, from a casting point of view or from a streamer's point of view, I think it really can be a good thing for social anxiety because I'm
Yeah.
putting myself out there a lot more now than if I was back at day one streaming now, I would never imagine that even being here in this chat is not something I would ever have put myself in a position doing on a voluntary, putting my own name forward for it.
Yeah.
So that's how much, such as myself, I've come forward since streaming. So definitely.
And one of the things I feel like when it comes to going live and streaming, you live in the town, the village, the city that you live in. And the people that live around that area may not be like you. They may not be accepting of you the way you are. And when you go live, you're literally broadcasting yourself to the world. And it allows for people that are like you or who like the same things as you to find you. It allows you to connect with people that you otherwise would have never met in the world. Some of my very close friends, none of them are in the United States. They are all in the UK. And I absolutely adore them. And I would have never met them had I never started streaming. I would have never known who they were. Because let's face it, typically when we're gaming, yes, we have online gaming now. That's a great thing. But typically when you're playing a game online, you are not connected to people in other countries because most games have servers. They have, like Dead by Daylight, for instance, you have West Coast servers and East Coast servers in the United States. If we are queuing into a game solo, I, as an East Coast person, am not going to be put into a game with a person that's queued up in the West Coast, because that's not how the servers work. So by streaming, I've now met so many people in the UK that I can game with, so many people on the West Coast that I can game with. And I'm finding, it's basically finding your tribe. And that's part of building a community also, you're finding your tribe. You are finding the people that are like you, who can relate to you. And you guys can share things that you have in common. But also, one of the things I love about it that also helps with all of this, something that has helped my anxiety is knowing when I have people in my community telling me that I'm one of the highlights of their day and that I helped put a smile on their face, or that they were having a really bad day and they came into my stream and I really helped them with something that they were going through, that means I've done something amazing and I've helped another person. And knowing that I'm serving my purpose in life to help people is so much greater than any bit of anxiety that I have. That feeling of knowing that I did something to help someone else beats down my anxiety every time. Like, just picks up a big stick and knocks anxiety in the head, like, haha, I win. And that's kind of how I go about it. That's part of what helps me put my anxiety to the side. Do I still have bad days? Yes. Do I still have anxiety moments when, I get raids and stuff like that and people that I don't know coming into my stream? Yes. But this lifestyle basically of going live and being there to entertain and talk with other people has truly helped me grow, because one part of my anxiety has always been the fear of rejection. 3 years ago, if a company would have said, I'm sorry, we're not going to choose you as a partner or an affiliate, 3 years ago, I would have broke down crying. And my anxiety would have taken over with all the terrible thoughts that anxiety will give a person. Today, I can handle that rejection. And I have to thank streaming for that. So yes, I really think that streaming could be huge to help a lot of people. And, for those of us that have anxiety and struggle with these different things, by us going live, we're also putting ourselves out there for other people that are like us to see. We might actually in turn be helping other people to get through what they're going through with all of this.
Yeah, 100% agree with that, and I absolutely love that, because that's what it's about for me. Very much exactly the same as yourself. If I can take someone's sort of regular everyday stresses away just for even 2 minutes, then my passion is winning. It's doing what I love and helping someone into a better mood. Right? That's the best thing you can do. So this is such a powerful tool for both streamers and viewers alike to really give that happy feeling for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to catch up with chat and then respond to things.
You see how Ross in the chat, his voice just makes me happy, to be fair. So
that is very
you've
true.
heard Ross.
Yes.
Beautiful.
A wonderful, wonderful human. Adore him. Ross is definitely one of those people that when I first went into his chat, I did not expect the voice that I heard or the energy. It's not just the voice. There is an energy behind it that just pulls you in, and it's so energetic, but not in a hyper energetic type of way. It's just I don't know how to explain it. And that's the great thing about this is you literally can find feel good, happy through other people's streams. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to take a minute then to think, because I thought that you were on about Bob Ross. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were on about Bob Ross, and I was like,
well,
he's a beautiful human being.
Everybody needs a friend.
Happy accidents. Now, okay, so since there's really not many more questions, I feel, and we do have about an hour, I feel like this is a great opportunity to bring up another question that I just kind of thought about with engaging chat and then kind of things that could cause anxiety with streaming and stuff like that. How do you guys handle trolls? Because we all know that there will be trolls that will come in and they will say something hateful. They will say something mean. They will purposefully try to hurt someone's feelings to get a good laugh for themselves.
So apparently I make them mods, but no. No, I mean, again, it's that admin support, and the admins are really good at keeping an eye on the chat, deleting messages, timing out, issuing warnings, getting rid if needed. And it just means that I don't have to worry about getting involved in an argument with some troll in the chat. Again, it's just ignore them, let them say what they say, the mods will handle it, and they're gone if they carry on. Simple.
Yeah.
And be really with
Definitely.
that.
I mean, if someone comes in and says something hateful, the first, because I'm a family friendly streamer, so I have zero tolerance for it. I will call them out and say, hey, why are you being so hateful? What's the problem? If they say it again, it's a straight up ban. We don't mess around. We don't want to get anyone's feelings, hurt, anything like that at all. We want to have, complete space of positivity and safeness. So yeah, it's just not tolerated. So yeah, call them out, and then they're gone if they keep it up.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah, I feel like it's having a good mod team to back you up. Also, the auto ban as well. That's, I think, is highly underrated on Twitch, of being able to specifically ban certain words to stop them and certain slurs slipping through as well. That I find very helpful for me, like, because obviously with it, your mods can add to it as well.
Yes.
So there might be things that you don't think about, and they'd be like, right, obviously you don't want to say them, but you just you put them in, it stops that straight out. Obviously there was that period of time where there was a lot of hate raids going around, which was absolutely disgusting. And luckily someone came out. I don't know if you guys have heard of a program called BQ Bot. It's essentially like a chat bot, but they specifically initially built it to counter the hate raids. So it would have a certain thing on there which would outright just get rid of all of it, which was absolutely fantastic. I think it's just a lot of being very much aware, being hot on it. Like in my channel, I love a bit of banter. I love a bit of ripping each other, and if we're playing Dark Souls, I am the worst player at Dark Souls. All right. I need to get good, like by all means. But there is that line. And if someone is a bit like, that's a bit far, you go past that line, I'm sorry, but there's no second chances. Like, you're out, you've upset someone, and then you've pushed it. Like, know where the line is, accept it. I mean, don't get me, I've done it to someone. I mean, I'll admit I ripped a little bit too far, and and it's like, oh, sorry, dude, thank you for telling me. I didn't want to upset you. It was a joke that you took a little bit too far. I, truly sorry about it. And, they were totally fine. And now we're like best friends. It's understanding where that line is and not letting people cross that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And again, 3 years ago, I couldn't handle trolls. I actually, the very first troll I ever dealt with, and this will forever stay in my memory. I do not know why, because I know I've dealt with plenty of trolls since then, and this one, it's like it's burned into my memory. Someone came in, and I had literally been streaming less than like 4 months. And someone came into my stream and he said hello, no problem, but then asked me how many cheeseburgers I had to eat on a daily to keep my my top half as big as it is.
Oh my lord.
That's disgusting.
And I literally got quiet and sat there, and I was on camera so everyone could see it. And I sat there staring at my chat because I did not know how to respond to something like that. I was on the verge of tears. And luckily I had some very awesome mods that stepped in and went, yeah, that's an insta ban. You don't talk to someone like that. You wouldn't talk to someone like that in public, would you? Would you talk to your mother like that? You don't do that. And so, especially because I'm a plus size person. I'm open about that. I don't try to pretend to not be. And I've learned how to embrace that. And so now, like, I've learned I counter the trolls. Depending on what they say will depend on how I respond. Most of the time, if it's just straight out something that should be instantly banned, before I allow my mods, and my mods know when they can and can't ban just yet, based on what I'm saying, I will tell them, thank you so much for the interaction on my chat because you're helping to boost my channel more. But what we're not going to do is that right there. It's called basic human decency. And then with that, I will tell them, again, thank you for the interaction. Have a nice day. But you're a quick exit out of here. Goodbye. And that's when my mods will ban because they know. I don't tolerate that kind of behavior anymore. There are some people I will tell them like, no, we don't do that here. Granted, yes, I swear on my streams, I tag my stream as 18 and older for a reason because I do use language. But we still are going to treat each other with decency. Because it's not acceptable. I went from being the person who stayed quiet and would let people trash talk me, and because I couldn't handle how to respond, to I'm basically a mama wolf. I look after people, and that goes for people in my streams as well. If somebody comes in and attacks somebody in my community, in my chat and stuff, I'm not going to tolerate it. I will give them a fair warning, depending on what it is, and then it's a ban. But there are plenty of other types of trolls as well. You know, like you were saying, mentioning the bot. I've never heard that one. I use SiriBot for my streams and it basically blocks out a lot. But again, also like it was mentioned, utilizing the banned words or phrases setting in your I don't know where it's at in the settings for your Twitch channel, but using that is super helpful as well.
Yeah, I think a lot with trolls, it's a case of like you just treat people how you would want to be treated, and if they're going to treat people like that, then you don't have time for that. Get rid of it.
Yeah,
it's no good for no one.
and I'm not going to say that females on Twitch have it more difficult with trolls. I think we all have it equally as difficult. It's just a matter of what type of troll ends up in our chat, based on who we are. And that's one thing that I think is kind of, you know, it sucks, but it's things that we're faced with as content creators. And you know, that's why I love what this lifestyle has done for me. And yes, I do call it a lifestyle because I mean it's my life. Streaming is my life. So it absolutely is a lifestyle for myself, but it's helped me grow so much. And the things that I used to not be able to handle, I can handle now. And I want to be able to go forward and share that with other people, you know, because it might help them. Let's see. You guys can continue on. I'm gonna kind of catch up on chat and see. Oh, I see one actually. Here's a question. What's something that you guys struggled with when you first started streaming, and what do you still find challenging to this day?
For me, probably when I first started, it was literally that, like, having to talk. Like, it took me ages to just sort of think, right, there's no one in chat, no one's going to want to come along and just have it be, you know, be dead and this, that, and the other. And you put so much pressure on yourself. And it was like, I then started just commentating my own gameplay. So everything that was going on in my head, like, oh, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to see what's over this rock or whatever. And then just essentially verbal diarrhea, just get like everything that's on the brain sort of coming out and like the spiel. And then people come along and be like, what are you chatting? I'm like, I don't really know, to be quite honest. I have no idea, but hey, welcome in.
I completely understand that. Between ADHD and anxiety.
Me, I think for me, it's sort of sitting at the PC and looking at the games and going, what am I going to play tonight? What's everyone going to want to watch? You know, what am I going to pick? I don't know what to pick. You know, I don't have that, you know, huge amount of games, and just then worrying that people aren't going to want to watch it. I mean, obviously, as time goes on, you realize that as long as you're having fun, the chat's going to have fun. But I still struggle with that now and again. You know, deciding what to play and is it going to be correct for that night.
Yeah, I agree with that one. When I first started streaming about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, I started out doing commentary on Rocket League tournaments. So it's a bit of fun. It was a game that I was into at the time. I wasn't the best player at it, so I found something that was a bit different. So doing the commentary on these tournaments, they were all sort of pre-set up, but it stopped becoming fun. People were becoming quite toxic in the chat because I wasn't, say, doing the tournament that they wanted at that particular time, because there's different formats that you could do. If I even wanted to do anything else that I wanted to do, you know, it's you should be doing this. You should be back on Rocket League doing tournaments. And thankfully, well, I started to lose the motivation for streaming. And thankfully, Psyonix did me a favor and broke the tournament system, so it wasn't possible. So I took a break from streaming, just disappeared, didn't do anything for sort of 2, maybe 3 years, and then I came back. And since I've been back, I made it my mission to stream whatever I want to stream, whatever night I want to stream, which apparently has turned out to be every single night. And I've enjoyed it. It's been much more fun. I care less about numbers. I care less about how many are watching. I hide all that now. Social anxiety's improving, as I've mentioned. Being more involved with things because I'm enjoying the streaming. But the challenge is still ignoring that niggle. Once in a while, someone will say, "Why aren't you doing this game?" Just ignoring that and just carrying on, reinforcing that this is what I want to do. It's my stream. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to be here. That kind of attitude that I need to. Obviously, I don't need to be that rude to them when I say it, but internally, that's the argument that I need to have. I need to sort of say to myself, "This is what I want to do. It's my stream. Tough." That's.
Totally.
I don't want to be dragged into that whole. This now feels like a job again. I'm not enjoying it, and I want to break again. So
Well, I mean, that's the thing is when you're a streamer, this is your brand.
yeah,
You're creating a brand, a business. So no, nobody should be telling you how to run your business. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
no, definitely. And the second time round, that's what it's been. It's just been a lot more of an enjoyable journey. There would be no way that I would have streamed for a year and a month without a day off previously, doing what I was doing before. My voice would have wrecked for a start doing commentary, but just with the content that I'm doing, I'm enjoying it. People who are chatting are quite pleasant at times.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just such a better experience the second time around. Definitely.
That's good. All right, so I'm gonna circle back because I realized I kind of forgot about a question that Mochi had answered, or asked a little bit ago, and then I was like, oh, I'll get back to this. I noted it, and then I totally forgot because, again, ADHD. Getting discouraged with viewership. How do you handle? Like, I guess a good way to ask that question would be like, how do you handle the viewership? How do you not allow yourself to get discouraged?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously, if you're used to having, say, 20 people in the chat, and then you suddenly have 3 people in the chat, I think it's natural to be, I don't know, already disappointed and sort of knocked back a little bit. Maybe is more appropriate. But then, the way I look at it is, it's going to happen because people have lives. They're not here just to come and watch me. It's amazing when they do obviously come in the chat, but people have lives. So, that stream may not be great, but the next stream is going to be even better than that. And it's just a case of putting your mind in a positive sort of set to say, right, you know what? New day, let's go again. And then
Exactly.
that way.
Yeah. And one of the things is that something that I didn't understand in the beginning that I understand now. Talk to your chat, whether it says 1 viewer or it says more viewers. You talk to chat the same. You stay hype. You don't let that number discourage you. And there has been days where I've had a lower number that I'm used to that has discouraged me. And what I do is I click it off to where it doesn't show the viewership and I can't see that number anymore. And I will sit there and chat with my stream. And some days where I don't have the energy to go full hype because I know that there's nobody chatting. I will sit there when I'm playing a game and I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to go do this. We're going to work on some gens, like for Dead by Daylight, for instance, because that's the first example that just came to my brain. Was okay, we're going to go over here and we're going to work on this gen. Let's see who over there is doing anything. Nope, they are not working on gens. And I will just, as if I had a stream full of people. But I might not have anybody chatting, but I don't care. I'm just going to keep talking. And I don't let that get discouraged because the thing is, you keep doing that because there are some people that will literally click on your stream and they will sit there and they will lurk before they talk. because they're going to find out who you are as a streamer. So if you keep talking, they might actually, chat and say, oh, hi, I found your stream and da 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 da. And then all of a sudden you're going to have someone to talk to. But just as crazy as you may feel, keep talking as if you have a chat full of people, because I promise you, your energy is going to show and it's going to bring the people in.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
I mean, with viewership from me, probably about 2 years ago, I got to the point where I got obsessed with numbers. It was just a pure numbers game. And I hit a real bad point and I was like, right, I'm just going to stop. And I stopped streaming for about 2 weeks. And then since that point, for the past 2 years, I have never had my viewer counter on. And the past 2 years, I have seen so much of a difference of myself, because it doesn't matter what that number is. That number doesn't exist, because like, even if you've got one person just chatting, that doesn't matter, because it's that person is talking and you're just in the moment, you're having fun, and it's what streaming's meant to be. It's meant to be fun. So why get so worked up with the numbers? That's kind of the mental attitude that I put myself into. Like, I love gaming, I love streaming, so why shouldn't I just have fun with it? So here I am 2 years on, never had that viewer number on, like I said, the past 2 years, and I've had the most fun and I've met the most best people I've ever done. And I can thoroughly say I've never regretted it for a second. I still don't know what my numbers are now. Like, not a clue. Wouldn't have the foggiest. But that doesn't matter to me, because I go on, I have fun. People see that. They come in, I see new people. Like, we treat them like they're old friends. You obviously get, and there are times where certain people can't be around. Like, life gets in the way of things. It happens. And there's one thing that annoys me so much in chat, and that's people turn around being, sorry, I haven't been in your stream for a while. No, you have nothing to apologize for.
Yep.
Nothing to apologize for.
Yeah,
like, if anything, I'm thanking you for coming back and like remembering that I'm kind of here, and you've taken that time out of your life to come and say, hey, like, it doesn't matter. Like, literally, you could be gone for a month, you could be gone for a day. Like, you're still just as important as you were the last time that I saw you. If anything, let's have a catch up. How have you been? What have you been up to? We have more to talk about.
Exactly.
Like, your chat is like your second family. You spend so much time streaming. You spend so much time speaking to them. Half the time, you end up speaking to them more than you speak to like people you do at work or at home or whatever. Like, they're a second family, and I love them. I love all them guys. Like, doesn't matter if they're in once a week, once a month, doesn't matter. They're all family to me.
Exactly. Like, I have one guy, and he stands out because he does it every time he comes into my chat. He has been following me for like 2 years and some now. Doesn't ever come in, say hi, how are you doing? He comes by once in a blue moon and will literally...
No, that's all you did there.
I thought about it after I said it. I went, he will do the exclamation point follow age and check how long he's been following me. And then he's gone. And you know what?
I love that.
I'm going to tell him every time, oh my gosh, hello, how are you? Welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Good to see you again. Even though I know he is not going to respond if I ask him how he's doing, because that's literally all he comes to say in my chat. And it's literally, he's done it like maybe 4 times since I came back to streaming a year ago. And you know what? Hey, you do you, boo. I appreciate the interaction. That's all that matters. And I tell people all the time, there is no expectation. You're not obligated to be here. The fact that you're taking your time right now to come in and say hello, that means the world to me. That's just as amazing as if to me, that's equally as amazing as if somebody subbed or, cheered some bits or dropped a dono. It means the world to me. Oh, Oh, there's a current poll up. Do you stream with your viewer count on or off? So you guys can go vote on that and let us see some stats on that bit. Did anybody have anything else that they wanted to add to all of that?
I love the follow age guy or gal, whoever they may be. No matter what
Honestly,
they are, I love that.
I don't know. I have no idea actually. So all right. So another question that was asked was, if Twitch allowed music without fear of being DMCA'd, would you play background music? And do you think music helps a community connect?
Definitely. I mean, you can set your own vibe then, can't you? Again, it's your channel. You can sort of customize it as such to how you want it, and then that's sort of going to bring in the community a bit more together. If they're sort of the same sort of community as you know, especially with your mods, an extension of your community, then yeah, definitely, why not?
I mean, some do, don't they? There are, like, I've seen partners out there that will play music irregardless of the DMCA because they're not saving the VODs, they're not necessarily having it in the clips and things like that. So they're only really live streaming at that current time, and if the community is not reporting it, they don't get the strike. So I don't know. Personally, for me, I would love to have music in the background, irregardless of where it's from. But I mean, even now, I've started looking into non-copyright music just because it can fill that gap. If you are maybe concentrating for a little bit too long, at least there's something there in the background to listen to at the same time. And there is some good music out there that is DMCA free. But if they ever remove that on Twitch, then yeah, I would happily play music on the stream.
I definitely feel like it would help with like a quieter game. So I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever played Raft, but that's a very quiet game. There's not much background noise in the game or anything like that. You know, you're at sea. There's not really much going on. So before the whole DMCA malarkey happened, I used to have a song request on, and obviously it was monitored like quite closely. But it was something that could kind of, like say, help fill that little bit of void. Like where it's very quiet, it's just essentially just all you can really hear is the person streaming talking. So it was kind of that bit of fun, and then you would have like, you know, some like, you know, Aqua Barbie Girl or something like that come on. You're like, who put this on? And then people would put like songs on to wind you up and things like that. So I think like it does help. Whether or not I would have it, I probably wouldn't. I've never really have, only on, like I say, like the quieter games such as like Raft, or like what would be great is if when you do like marbles and stream, you could like have a bit of like fun music in the back there, and like say for instance, if you got quite close to the community, like the winner can pick the song, and that will help with like interactivity for your stream. And I think like it would be great to have it back, but yeah, it's just a shame. It's a real shame.
So for me, I have always loved playing music. And when I first started, I got in the habit of using Monster Cat, actually. And then I found that, like, because this was before the whole DMCA thing really became an issue. But like I was having like notations on my streams about music that was playing from Monster Cat, streaming from the Monster Cat Twitch channel. So I really kind of gave up on Monster Cat because I got frustrated with it. And then, you know, when the whole COVID thing hit, I feel like labels got bored because they weren't making the money they were used to because everything got shut down. So they decided to start picking at people like, oh, well, I'm not making money off of this, so we're going to go after you now. And I feel like that's really why the DMCA became a thing. But I still play music during my streams, but I just am very careful. Excuse me. I specifically use pretzel rocks. Now, granted, there's not a lot of songs on there that people are used to. However, there's bands and labels that are actually starting to connect with pretzel rocks and going, you know what? We're going to make copyright, or what is it? The copyright free music or royalty free music or whatever they want to call it. And these bands are actually, and labels are starting to work with pretzel rocks to release their music on there so that streamers and content creators can still use really awesome music. And I think that's pretty awesome that people are standing up and saying, hey, you know what? Forget you guys. We're going to set out on our own and do this so people can still use our music, because hello, that's free advertisement for us. And so, you know, I still play music and I don't have any issues with it because of the service that I go through. But absolutely, if I could go back to playing regular music without fear of the DMCA stuff, I would. I'm one of the ones I won't delete my VODs. Because I want that content to stay on my channel, because I want people to be able to go back and view my VODs, especially because of where I'm at in my streaming career. I want people to see what my content is about.
I do have one more thing that I have to bring up. I agree that DMCA needs to go, because as soon as I stopped talking, I remember one thing that I used to do and I really miss doing it. So I used to have a thing, and it was like the most channel points that you could have on my channel at the time. And it was called a Gary rave, and someone would be able to pick any song that they wanted to, whether it would be for their birthday or anything like that. And what would essentially be, they would pick any song they want and would put like all these like flashing lights up and this, that, and the other. I'd put a cow mask on and would have the best time. Turn on emo only mode and would all just go to town. Yes, sorry, we need DMCA to go. I'm sorry, I've just remembered it. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
No, absolutely. That's a beautiful point, because that also kind of in a way goes into what Mochi just said in chat. Was I miss having song requests on. I love getting trolled by my mods with songs, because that right there was a huge way to keep your chat interacting with the stream. You know, being able to let them control the music that's playing. That's a huge thing. And I completely agree that this whole DMCA mess has completely, you know, taken away parts of the way that our streams can be for our community. So now we have to find other ways, which is fine, because it absolutely is possible. But music, as someone who has grown up in a music life and a music house, for me, music is therapy. And I feel like that can apply for so many other people. And music can truly help somebody's mood. So, you know, taking that away from us really stinks.
100%. 100% with you on that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's led us to make more creative ways of making interactivity for our channels, but it's the simple little things, like someone could be having a bit of a bad day and someone's got like song request on. They think, right, I can just put that on. I can watch one of my favorite streamers, listen to one of my favorite songs, and their whole day's changed around. Like you said, like music has such an impact on our lives. Like it's a shame that they feel like they should take that away from us.
Yeah, it really is sad. And I think that's pretty awesome. That's where I think the bands and the labels that are coming out and saying, you know what, forget you. We're going to do our own thing and we're going to make this music available to these content creators. I have the most respect for them, because they hear us and they care. And they realize that it's dumb to have this DMCA mess. It's just beyond the whole thing. When it all started, I'm just sitting there staring at it going, are you serious right now? Like, are you? And a lot of it, like I said, it comes down to being money hungry, and these companies and labels and artists not making what they're used to because everything got shut down and they had nothing better to do with their day.
it's also affected games as well, though. Because I mean, like, what was it? I think like for instance, if you use the radios in like GTA or was it Cyberpunk? I think it was. They actually had to make like a DMCA mode for the game so people could actually stream it, which it's more. It then costs the producers more money for the games to like make that, and it's just silly. It's just silly.
Oh, absolutely. Fortnite is one of them that has a setting to where you can switch it to not play the audio of copyright music, because, you know, some of their little emotes that they have in game come with music, and it's copyrighted music. So you can actually turn that off for streamer mode. Who else? Death Stranding is one that your VODs will get muted because of the music, even though some of the music was written for the game. And I feel like when you purchase a game, the devs already have the license to be able to use that music. And when you purchase the game, I feel like that should be extended. And if Twitch and YouTube are allowing these games to be streamed on their platform, I feel like it should go without a doubt allowed for streamers to have this music and them not to have that held against them. Life is Strange is another game that has music that will get your VODs muted. So far, I haven't gotten any strikes because of it, but they do note, hey, we muted your VOD in these sections because there was music in the game that's not allowed. And that's Twitch's way of protecting its content creators.
Turns out the Minecraft Star Wars edition, the Ewok sound is also copyrighted. Just so you know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
Ewoks?
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Like, why?
Oh. Did someone mute in the middle of talking? No. Yeah, I thought I didn't catch who was talking, and then it like went muted. I didn't know if we were finishing or if we meant to mute.
I'm just in disbelief. What did the Ewoks do to anyone? They're just cute and fuzzy. Like,
right?
Wow.
let them
Thank
speak.
you. Thank you.
You don't want to delve into that. They're feisty little things.
Who streamed Just Dance? That is a game about music and dancing to it, and Beat Saber, or Beat Saber. Yeah, those are ones I don't understand how people can stream those and get away with it and not get in trouble. But I mean, they do. So yeah. All right. So we're sitting at the 30-minute mark of the hour, so we're gonna start kind of winding down a bit. I do have another question that was asked in chat, so I definitely want to kind of, I guess, finish out with this question. Do you find it easier to stream when playing games alone or when playing with friends?
For me, I find it easier alone, mainly because of the silly fact that I've got really bad hearing. So if I'm playing with someone else and then have to focus on chat as well, and then the game itself, it gets quite difficult for me personally. So definitely solo for me, and then I can pay more attention to the chat as well, which, you know, obviously helps keep it interactive, right?
Yeah, I'm the same as you on that one. Like, I love playing with my friends and stuff like that. Like, there's a little group of us. We've been doing, like, we used to do all the Halo lassos, so we called ourselves like Fireteam Brohammer, and I love them guys to pieces, and I have so much fun playing with them. But I do feel like when I play with a group of a couple other people or whatever, I feel like chat kind of gets lost a little bit because you're playing with your friends a little bit. So I personally prefer playing solo because then I have more time for chat and I don't get myself too distracted because I'm a little bit of a magpie.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think now. What would I prefer? I have done both because Sea of Thieves obviously is solo or multiplayer game. I don't mind doing either, but I kind of agree with what's already been said. I think the chat can be lost if you are in a crew with someone because your focus is on talking to them about where you're going or what you're doing, especially, again, using Sea of Thieves as an example. If you're in a fight and that's your main focus is talking on that, you kind of forget to maybe look back at the chat because you're having that interaction with someone. Whereas when you're solo, your focus is on the chat because you wanted to make sure that you're talking to the people in the chat. You're not already in a conversation. You might be talking about what you're doing in the game, but you're not necessarily active in a conversation unless you're looking at the chat itself. So I don't mind. I just think you need to sort of discipline yourself a bit more if you are with a crew or with friends. Sorry, it's not always Sea of Thieves. It's just that's what I play. But yeah, it's if you are with friends in a game, it's disciplining yourself to look at the chat more, maybe, than you would if you were sort of solo. Because I think when you're on your own, it's just habit just to keep checking the chat.
Absolutely.
I think one thing that does help when playing with friends is having the hotkey to mute yourself if you're playing, like if you're talking to them over Discord. So then you can just sort of like cut yourself off from there and then have an actual full-blown conversation with chat. Because I feel like sometimes, especially if you're doing it with another streamer, you're kind of talking your chat on their chat, and then everything's getting a little bit jumbled up and they're trying to talk about the game and stuff like that. So you can just like split the audio. You can sort of turn down the Discord a little bit or whatever party chat you're using, and then like mute yourself from that, like get involved in chat a bit more. That's what the kind of thing I've been trying to push myself into, and it does help, but I do forget sometimes.
Yeah, I completely understand that. When I first started streaming, I realized I was very bad about looking back at chat because I would get so caught up in having fun with my friends. And it's something that I have really had to teach myself to do. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog. He's being vocal right now. But really had to train my brain to constantly look back at chat all the time, because I would completely forget, and then I'd go, oh my gosh, I have to, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I still have moments where I have to go, oh gosh, let me catch up on chat real quick, guys, and I'll go down the line. And I think now it depends on my mood, because it can provide different types of content, and I like being able to provide that variety, because when I'm playing with friends, I can promise you're gonna get lots of shenanigans, which gives a whole different level of content to my viewers than when I'm playing solo. And sometimes when I'm playing solo games, it's because I want just a chill vibe type of night with my viewers. And, you know, I set a mood and a tone for people when I do that. But it also allows for me to spend more time focusing on my chat. And also, like, if I'm playing a solo game, it's typically something like Borderlands, for instance, where I can just explore and talk to my chat about the game, or even, you know, if they want to talk about a different game that they like, I can give them that attention. So it just really depends on the vibes for me as to whether or not I'm in the mood to play with people or alone. Let's see. I see another one. Have you ever had a Twitch TOS worry when playing with friends who don't stream and understand the rules? That's definitely a strong question. For me, yes. And I've gotten to the point now where I do not let friends play with me while I'm streaming. Or like, I only let a certain group of people play with me. But if there are people who are not part of that normal group, I will give them a rundown beforehand to let them know, like, hey, respect. This is my channel. This is my brand, my image, and I don't need you saying things that are going to possibly threaten that. That's basically how I handle it. What about you guys?
Exactly that. It's your space, isn't it? Like you say, it's your brand. It's the whole you. You're in control. These are my rules. You know, not gonna be rubbish about it, but yeah, this is what I want. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's that model. It's that trust aspect of like, cause a lot of people that I will play with are also streamers as well, so they understand. Like sometimes a couple of my mods will join in. They're the same. They understand what the situation is. We kind of talk about the game. They understand like when I'm talking to chat. Sometimes they get involved in chat, so that kind of helps out a little bit because then chat's kind of talking to them, and then we're talking to them, and it's sort of sometimes it can be really good, but then like I say, you have to build up that trust. Like so, on a few of the games that I've played, I've had people just being like, "Oh, can I join party?" And it's like, you can join the party, but you're not joining the chat because I've known you for the grand sum of about 5 minutes. And as far as I know, you're going to come in and you're just going to blast everything TOS. I don't know who you are. Like maybe after a while of getting to know you and I can trust you, then maybe we can talk about it. But most of the people that I'll have on they understand. They've either been mods or they've been streamers or they know the situation, so it's that level of trust and respect.
Yeah. I actually have an exclamation point play command in my chat, so when people ask me, hey, can I join, and I get a lot of first time chatters that don't even follow me that will ask to play, and it literally just explains like, hey, stick around, let me get to know you, and you can join future games. And that kind of, yeah, they don't follow and they typically leave. And I'm okay with that because the thing is, if you're coming in and asking me to play and you're not willing to follow or stick around and be a part of the community, to me, that says trouble. Or potential trouble. Recently I started letting people that have like, they've been chatting, they just followed that night, but will ask, hey, can I play after chatting for a bit? And I'll say, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Let's invite you to the party. But again, like you were saying, like, you're not going to be in voice chat because I don't know you.
Yeah, that whole people wanting to just jump in and it comes up with that first time chatter and it's like, I get it all the time on Monster Hunt, and I'm sure like Loft, if he's in chat, will understand as well. Like you just get people that put exclamation mark lobby and they just want to join in, and it's like, hi, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. Like, it's like to have that modern of like just common decency, just to say hi. Just come in, like, just hello, I'm such and such. How are you? Oh, hi, welcome. How are you? This, that, and the other. It's just a bit sad when people just like have that assumption. It's like, let's be friends first. This
Yeah.
hi. This is me. This is you. Oh, cool. You like this game? Oh, why don't we have a game? Oh, okay then. Like it's just, it would just be nice. So
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I like to troll them and I'll change it and I'll let everyone who usually comes in and they'll come in and they'll be like, oh, exclamation mark lobby, and it's like, oh, hi. Like I'll have like, oh, thanks for saying hello. Would you like the lobby key? It's like, and if they don't come back, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But it's like, yeah, I'm just waffling. Sorry. I'm waffling.
No, you're fine. I love it. That's part of what this is about. Is just being able to say what's on your mind about these questions and situations that we all face as content creators. Like it's insane to see how and for me, like I said, if someone's only willing to come in and say, hey, can I join, but they're not willing to say hello or hi, nice to meet you, they're probably not there for good terms.
It's like you wouldn't just knock on someone's door when they open the door. You just walk in, would you? You'd just be like, oh, hi, how are you? And they'd be like, oh, cool, would you like to come in? Well, obviously you wouldn't, but it's that kind
exactly.
of thing.
You wouldn't just walk up to someone's door and be like, oh, so what are we having for supper?
Hey, they wouldn't even do that. They'll just come in and start eating off your table.
Exactly. And that's not what we want at all. No, definitely not. So I would like to have you guys let's go around. How can people that are in the chat today, how could they find you if they wanted to follow you or stop by your channel? Like what are your socials?
My socials are all my Twitch name, Doughnut Damage, pretty much on everything. So pretty simple to find, and it's the English correct way of spelling donut.
I was about to say it's not the
Yeah.
American way of spelling
No,
donut.
do nut. That's not right. That makes me a little bit angry. I let Duncan off a little bit, but otherwise, the correct way of spelling it. And yeah, love to see you. Come by. We'll chat. We'll hang out. And we're not
Sorry.
Doughnut, Becky. Not at all.
Krispy Kreme is better.
I do agree. But
Yeah, Krispy Kreme's all the way.
I'm glad we can at least all agree on that. We might not be able to agree on the spelling of donut, but we agree that Krispy Kreme is better.
That
Alright.
is true. That is very true.
So, Blue Moo, how could people find you if they wanted to?
Well, after a year-long battle with Twitter of finally getting someone rid of called Blue Moo Gaming, who was never on, who stole it before me, which is very annoying. I managed to actually get my Twitter handle Blue Moo Gaming, but essentially everything's Blue Moo Gaming. Or just listen to the waffle, and just follow that, and you'll be lulled into my stream through my sweet, sweet melodies of talking absolute rubbish. So, and when I do, just make sure you put exclamation mark and waffle in chat. That'd be much appreciated. But yeah, otherwise it's stop waffling, stop it. Right, serious face, let's go. Yeah, Twitter, Twitch, Insta, all Blue Moo Gaming. Love to have you guys. Love seeing new people. If you're a Monster Hunter fan, by all means get involved. We got Sunbreak coming soon. It's going to be good times. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Professional idiot. Love it.
And then I guess that's just me then. So for me, it's just literally just look for the real forecast on anything, and you'll probably find me. I managed to secure that name on everything. So whether it's Twitch, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever, just search a real forecast and you'll find me.
what about you, Delicate? How do we find
Yeah,
you?
how do we find you?
Oh my gosh, pro gamer moves. I was muted. I've been talking, but you know, way to go me. So yeah, I'm a pro. You guys can tell. I mute myself a lot.
You're not a real pro unless you've muted yourself for at least 10 minutes when you start stream.
Truth. Or randomly throughout stream. So because certain platforms such as the Bird app does not allow for a certain amount of characters, I couldn't secure Delicate Disaster spelled properly. And then someone stole the closest thing to mine, so mine is really funky. But Leon was so sweet to drop my LinkedIn link, which has all my socials, but you can still search Delicate Disaster on Twitter, and you should still be able to find me. Delicate Disaster is spelled out properly as all one word on Twitch, so that will be like one of the first ones that comes up. And all my socials are linked from my Twitch, which is probably the easiest way to find me. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Hover, Instagram, Twitch. I just recently started a YouTube channel and I have no idea what to do with it. I'm pretty much on all the things. And yes, and there's the link again for my socials and how to find me. So yeah. Or if you guys are struggling to find me there, you can definitely find me in the Streamseed Discord. I'm definitely not as active as I should be because I have my hands on a lot of pots right now. But you guys will start seeing me a lot more, especially with me starting to host the creators of the Doughnut Table on Tuesdays, which, by the way, Tuesdays are supposed to be Taco Tuesdays. However, somehow they became Doughnut Tuesdays, and I'm okay with this.
We could put donuts in tacos.
Okay.
We could, yeah. go straight to TikTok to follow. Hey, I'm all for it because I would absolutely love to be able to go live on TikTok, but you know, you have to have 1,000 followers on there, and I just can't seem to make it. But yeah, so you guys, I will definitely have to stop in through your streams. I'm excited to catch up with your content and see how you guys do things. So yeah, big question there. Who should we raid tonight? I would love to hear from you guys or from chat if you guys have someone that you think would be an excellent recipient of the Streamseed love. It's all about donuts. Who needs tacos? I mean, I love donuts, but I love me some lingua tacos. Just saying. And if you don't know what lingua is, don't look it up because you'll probably be disgusted.
I was about to ask. Now
I mean, I can share with you if you'd like to know. But most people don't want to know because they say it sounds gross.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, do we have any ideas of who to raid out to?
Sorry, I was watching Thoughtcast Google the what's the name so to find out what they were.
I didn't. Okay. What do you mean? I didn't just Google that to find out what it was.
It's okay. So I'm getting the tell us. It's cow tongue.
Ooh.
And it is more tender than steak. All right, so we have one answer for who to raid. And it is absolutely wonderful if cooked correctly. It can be overcooked. I learned that the hard way. All right, so let's see. We have one answer as to, okay, we have two. Ew. Oh, Leon. It's like, ew, cow tongue? What? Gross. It is an acquired taste.
I mean, I'd love to try it. I mean, there's not many things I wouldn't try. So, yeah, I'd be well up for trying that.
Nope.
Yes. Someone talked me into it. I said gross. And then the first lingua taco I ever had, I went, oh my gosh, I've been missing out my whole life.
This is why I get personally angry. People eat food. It sounds awful.
Yeah, that is true. So apparently I'm the only one that thinks that tacos are better. All right, so we have two people who have been suggested for okay, I'm getting 3 people that have been suggested for a raid.
I know Victoria is pushing for affiliate right now, so that could be a good raid.
Ooh.
Okay, that could be, definitely. So, all right, yeah, we definitely want to get somebody. We'd love to help people get affiliate. That's always a wonderful thing.
Spreading the love.
He's playing Fall Guys. This is Donut Land. Yes, I know. But I'm also not big on sweets. But of course, again, okay.
How? Sweets are the best.
Okay, so in the States, sweets are overly sugared.
Oh, yeah, to be fair.
And I don't like a lot of sugar. That's like why people are like, oh, chocolate. And I'm like, no, I don't eat a lot of chocolate because I actually don't like the overly sweetness of it. I would probably love sweets from the UK because it's not as full of sugar as American sweets.
Well, you would love some British chocolate, you would. It's super tasty.
I actually want to do snack crates from other countries as part of my stream because I love foods from other places. Like I love it. Okay, so it just depends on where you're at. Will depend on the spelling. Yes, I recognize that Doughnut is the proper spelling. But everybody who knows me really well knows that I am a British person stuck in an American's body.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that listen to me that are from the UK that go, how are you American? Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
I had no idea you were American until you said. So,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, get me off stream and let's talk about things, and you would really go, yeah, you're definitely not an American. People ask me how this happened, and I'm like, I'm convinced maybe my mom kidnapped me or something. I don't know. All right, so I think because nobody's really saying anything, Raid is your call. I love the fact that everyone is mentioning different people. And I'd love to be able to like split the raid and go to everybody, but the mention of trying to hit affiliate it's really part of what we're supposed to be for. It's to help everybody, network and grow and stuff like that. That's what we do here. So I would love if we took the love over to Victoria and try to help hit that affiliate goal.
Yeah, when I heard going for affiliate, I was sold. I was like, right, that's it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not doing any suggestions. We're helping affiliate. That's my choice.
That's wonderful. That would be my choice. Is let's try to help someone hit affiliate for sure. Won't be disappointed. Wonderful. So yeah, I guess that's where we're going to go over here in a moment. So everybody, it has been wonderful. I thank you three for being here with us and wanting to have discussions. Because that's part of what this donut table is about, is being able to sit down and talk about our views on things. It's just such a wonderful experience to be a part of this, and to hear what others have to say. This is something I'm actually really passionate about, and so I thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you everybody in the chat for being here, for listening to us ramble and talk, for adding questions, because without you guys, like, we wouldn't have something to talk about. We want to hear what you want to hear. Like, we want to hear your thoughts, your questions. So if you guys have something that wasn't talked about tonight, please go to the Discord and drop it in the content creators of the Donut Table channel, so we can get those questions answered. We will see you guys next week. We're going to take the love over to Victoria. I'm guessing is it Victoria Luis?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take the love over to Victoria Luis. You guys are amazing. Let's go show her how things are done and hype her up. Love you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And we're off.